Ugh. Swear, whatever in the air out here. What's up, Hooza? Hey, William. Just getting everything set up here. Sorry, everybody. Zeno, what's up? Oh, that's awesome, bro. This is one of my favorites, too. This has been a childhood favorite since I got it. This is actually my childhood copy too. Turn up the music just a little bit. Alright. Let me go ahead and get this tweeted out real quick. Y'all know I like to notify everybody of good streams in the future. I didn't with the last couple because those were kind of spur of the moments, so I admit that. There we go. Ugh. Techman, what's up? What's up, Alpha Nerd? Oh, not a problem at all, Alpha Nerd. Real name's Jesse. That's Jesse, not IE, not Y, and it's not short for Jessica. Let's get that out of the way, too. Oh, no problem, Tech. I'm glad I was able to watch it while at work. I'm actually playing this on the Super Game Boy, so this is original Super Nintendo, Game Boy cart, and Super Game Boy peripheral. Yep, there you go. Alright, let's get the ball rolling. So this is going to be somewhat a combination speed run, possibly a no-death run. Possibly. Oops. Actually, what's going on with my controls here? Ah, there we go. That's why it was all messed up. Okay. Now let's get to it. I apologize for the color palette too. This was before they did the pre-programmed Game Boy, Super Game Boy palettes. So what I have to work with is exactly what I have to work with. And I'll waste more time. I'll waste more time messing with these things. Okay, why aren't my missiles? There we go. So if you guys voted on my Twitter page, appreciate that, because that's what made playing this easier. I was really set on playing this game after beating part 1. Some little secret Phillips there. But I've been wanting to play Jet Grind Radio for a long time. Ever since I saw the guys over at Rage Quits play it. So I was torn about which one I wanted to play when I got home today. Okay, never mind that. Right, Zeno? This music is just so awesome. I'm just gonna save that there. It's like a muscle reflex. What's up, Mazin? Oh, nice to meet you, Steve. Alright, who else we got in here? Yeah, totally, the sprite is way more detailed. I was so happy they were able to pull that off, too, because I have to admit, I was a little fearful when they brought this game over. Because early on in the Game Boy library, if y'all played the Castlevania games, Mega Man games, even Kid Icarus, some of them were handled pretty well, others weren't. And because I was such a fan of this series, I was afraid when they were bringing it over. So when I saw how it looked after watching the commercial, and I hate the fact that the American commercial gives away part of the remaining boss fights. But anyway, after seeing it in the commercial, I was convinced this was going to be a really good port, and they did a hell of a job with it. Jermison, what's up, man? And speaking of the Rage Bros, what's up, guys? Now, I'm intentionally taking damage because I'm using that as somewhat of a boost to get through certain areas. And that's one of the things that I learned to do as a kid. I'll probably die, though, because that'll be just my luck. But I used that a lot to my advantage as a kid when playing this. Especially when I didn't have cool power-ups that I needed, like the space jump and the screw attack. I used that to my advantage to kind of figure out certain areas and kind of learn how to speedrun it a bit. It's kind of like the bomb trick, but better in my opinion. Ice beam, or bombs, yeah. I have the DS remake. In fact, my girlfriend got that for me, I believe for either my birthday or some other occasion. I have yet to sit down and play through it all, and I'm really like pissed about that because I was adamant about getting the special edition one that came with the soundtrack. But I was in full support of the fan game that was being made, and I was really disappointed to see that they killed that. But again, no surprise. Actually, I think that's where I need to go because I don't think there's any other area. Yep. I should get an energy tank here so that annoying buzzer will go away. There we go. See? There we go. Alright. Alright. And Josh has entered the stream. What's up, bro? Alright, let's get back to it. How come someone left you a comment on Twitter? Oh, that thing. You know, it wasn't exactly a name per se. It's just another example of being misgendered. You know, as I said in some replies, I've talked about this before, oops, in a couple of streams. There's the ice beam. And I brought it up not as a means to draw attention to myself or anything like that. It was just to illustrate the sort of commonplace dealing with something like that has become. You know, I don't mind talking about myself within limitation, of course, you know, about things like that. But it's also kind of disappointing because I look at moments like that and I go, what is the big deal with people having to know that information, you know? That's why I was really appreciative. Oh, darn it, I didn't go all the way through. I was appreciative of everybody who was kind of saying things like that, like, why does it matter? And I've dealt with that before in other situations, like at the gym and things like that. It's just, I don't know, I was taken aback by that a little bit because I didn't really know how to approach that. And it just illustrates how gender has become sort of an issue, I guess. It's almost like some people really need to know this stuff for fear of I guess it's kind of like a fear of, you know, gender roles or something. I don't know. If I really cared that much about it, I would have gone to school for that kind of thing. It's just interesting to me because I'm fascinated with the human condition. And in some cases, I've had some women kind of feel empowered because they see me as an equal, and then they're kind of like, you know, way to strike the blow for us, sister. And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, you know. Other times I've been kind of, it's been kind of sucky to know that I guess somebody had high hopes that I was the other gender, and they felt like, oh, now I can have somebody I can relate to who's the opposite gender, and it doesn't turn out to be that way. I don't know. It's my life is kind of a lifelong experiment, but then again, whose isn't? But mostly I just put that up there to kind of show just how that comes up, how often I deal with that, you know? Hey, little alpha, Metroid. So, and like I said too, I know some people have a hard time believing that happens. So that was mostly it, honestly. Let's see. Do I want to backtrack that way and use the spider bomb? Our spider ball. Or do I just want to freaking go this way? So that's mostly all that was for. I mean, I didn't want to embarrass the person either, because unless they meant some real negative intention behind that, which I don't think they did. You know, I wanted to hide their name and all that. I just kind of froze the projectile right in the perfect spot. Well, that's good to know, Tech. And I even admit that too. I don't exactly have a very masculine sounding voice, you know. I don't have facial hair, that kind of stuff. I admit that. But like I told Megadan, that's just the cards I'm dealt. You know, I can either be bitter about it or just accept it and move on. And that's just the way I look at it. Now, don't get me wrong, it is kind of funny when I am in a situation where I can prank somebody, but it's mainly just used as an icebreaker, so to say. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and make a person feel miserable or feel, you know, stupid just because they have preconceived notions on what defines a male and what defines a female. You can't always help that. But I'm open-minded enough that if it means that much to you to know, then, you know, you can approach me about it. And I'll probably be more chill about it than you think I will. So, and I'll admit, I actually am a fan of a lot of female characters, Samus being one of them. I instantly fell in love with this character because not only is she based off of Ellen Ripley from the Alien series, one of my favorite movie series in general. But there's just a lot of positive female role models in the world that I think get credit for. So I guess in a way, you know, it's kind of like, I don't want to say I take my cues from that, but it is kind of nice to have that as sort of a good mixture, and I guess that's what I do for some people. I guess I represent that in some way. I don't know. It's, out of all the interactions I've had, and this whole stream could be about just that, I've had a variety of mixed reactions, and honestly, in some cases I'm just like, whatever makes you feel better. Whatever allows you to sleep at night, so to say. You know? My girlfriend and I have been through a lot of really funny and awkward experiences too because of people's ignorance. And she kind of gets more offended about it than I do. But I've had my moments where I completely wanted to rage over it because I'm like, I'm just not in the mood to correct someone, or I'm just like, bro, you know? What's up, G Dicky? How's my friend to the north doing today? But it was just a random... I don't mind the question either. It's just what a random place for that to come up. My restoration video, you know? That's what was funny too. Come on. I got time. Oh, you're gonna cover there? There you go. Yep, NDR still intact. agree, Tech, but you know the thing about that is because of the many the many societal changes that have occurred over the last couple decades. Even if I was to say, you know, look at how my Twitter bio says dad, some people could still interpret that as, well, maybe that just means you're the masculine female in the relationship. There's a variety of different answers and questions I've been through, so it's it's one of those weird situations where I guess I guess it's totally up to the person to decide what they want to believe, you know. Oh, whoops. I misread that too. My bad. I thought you were talking about, is this NDR in chat? Or is that what you were asking? Because now I'm confused. Right, exactly. You know, and I admit that. There's no sense in denying I don't have a deep sounding voice or whatever. I mean, I could sit there and, you know, throw one up or whatever, but I don't really want to do that for the rest of my life, you know? Although I will say in certain situations, doing things like that has led me to have different experiences. So for those, I am grateful for. Now, where is that? There we go. There we go. That's what I want. But I do see how certain people in society are threatened by, quote, a female whatever the situation is, you know. Oops. What's up, Vash? Just hoping I could see you here today. Ow. Really? Oops. that area. This game saved me so many times on road trips. I remember I got this for Christmas the year it came out, and my then stepdad, I say then because he's not in the picture anymore, he gave this to me. And he pulled a fast one too because he wrapped it in a Dillard's box. And I'm one of those kids that I hated getting clothes for Christmas. Like, no, the holidays are supposed to be about fun stuff. And then it was rattling. So I'm like, what? You know? And inside the Dillard's box was this game. And also a Gameboy light. Because he knew I always tried to play Game Boy even in car rides at night, and I was always trying to angle my Game Boy to try to catch certain street lamps and whatnot. Alright. Let's see, do I want to go up here, or do I want to... try to remember. There should be. Yep. Okay. So yeah, he got me this game, and then he got me one of those newbie whoa. Went the wrong way, trying to avoid getting hit there. One of those newbie Game Boy lights that you hook on the front. Oh, we got more people in here. What's up, Wrestling with Games? Welcome to the stream. No worries, G Dicky. I definitely will suggest completing this game, though, because, man, is it freaking awesome. Especially on the first Game Boy. Hey, welcome, Vintage. Whoa! Did not want to go that far. Spikes. Alright. So let me get back to what I'm doing. Food. A good reason. Not a problem at all. You go enjoy your grub. We'll probably still be streaming, so if you want to come back later, by all means. How is the morph ball crawling up? Well, this game, unfortunately, is the only game that has what's called the spider ball. My guess is the reason it's the only game that has it is because the spider ball is based off of, like, this sticky secretion stuff that I think the Metroids have in them. So what it does is it just allows me to go into the morph ball and then adhere to any of the surfaces that I'm on. So as you see right here, there's me using it. And it's so unfortunate because I actually thought this was a pretty nifty power-up, but it's only on Metroid 2. They never brought this one back. There I go, using my damage. Actually, I think I should have gone upward first, but that's alright. Yep, Lumi's right, spider ball. There we go. That's how you do it, Illumi. If you didn't have it, you borrowed a friend's copy. That's awesome. Luckily, this is my childhood copy, and it has seen better days. I'm at the point where I'm gonna try oven cleaner just to get rid of some of the spots on here. But I love this cart to death. I could never see me parting with it. What's up, Movie High Club? Welcome. Wave beam time. Yes. Oh, no worries, Vintage. I hope you're having a good work day. I just let out not too long ago, and thankfully I'm home. Alright, there we go. Let's go this way. Retro Ryan, what is up, bro? Spider balls. Not in that sense, Ryan. Alright, so we got the wave beam now. Oh, I had that time. There we go. Boom. I was a little saddened to see that the wave beam doesn't do damage to the bosses like it did in previous games, but kind of makes sense. We're not fighting mini bosses, we're fighting mutated Metroids. Another reason why I like this game so much is the similarities to Aliens, of course. I mentioned this before in a previous stream, but I like the fact that even though the second Alien movie didn't take place on the Alien homeworld, the fact that Ripley took the fight to them is what I thought was awesome about the movie. And the fact that it's more action-oriented has always made it a favorite of mine. So this, following that similar plot of her taking the fight to their home planet, was super, super sick, in my opinion. Oh no. Don't let me lose the fight. Because of this. Oh, those robot tanks are here. Oh wait, nope, not this room. What do I get here? High jump boots. Finally. You know, it's a matter of preference, Movie High Club. I like Aliens and Alien pretty equally. I like the fact that Alien was more of a suspense horror sci-fi movie. You know, the whole truckers in space kind of deal. But I've always liked Aliens more because, like I said, it was more action oriented. And it really showed how deadly the xenomorphs were. Because if even a badass group of soldiers was getting worked by those things, it really augmented why the xenomorphs were a thing to be feared. Not to mention, there are so many elements in Aliens that I like. The awesome weaponry, the soundtrack is amazing. And I just like the overall story. And then, of course, what the second movie introduced was the Queen. So I just have more of a connection to that film than the first one. But both are freaking amazing in terms of what they have to offer overall. go. That's probably why I should have got the spring ball first. But you can't go wrong with either film, honestly. Later movies, I mean, some are cringeworthy. I'm very disappointed in what the AVP movies had to offer. I was really disappointed with that. Come on now. I'll bomb up if I have to, but there we go. Alien 3 I've kind of forgiven as I've gotten older. As a kid, I kind of loathed that movie. But as I got into screenwriting and special effects and, you know, learned about behind the scenes footage and stuff like that, I've actually become more forgiving about Part 3. Just because of the developmental hell that movie was put through. And why you never want to let corporate bigwigs interfere with your baby. Alien Resurrection, cop-out, in my opinion. And then, the first AVP movie was okay, story-wise, but lacked substance, in my opinion. Being PG-13 didn't help either. Then we get to Requiem. The violence, oh my god, I think they took some things just a little too far. But it had substance, but the biggest problem I have with AVP Requiem, it's so damn dark. Like, how are you supposed to see anything in that movie? So, those were my biggest gripes about that. And I remember we were in complete anticipation for that movie. There's the spring ball. What's up, Jay? We went to go see AVP Requiem on Christmas that year. And I remember I drove into Phoenix, where my family lives. And my roommates and I were like, okay, we gotta go. We got a movie to go see tonight. We got advance passes and all this other stuff. And then we went, and we're like, can they turn up the light or something? We can't see a damn thing. And then we learned that's how the movie was filmed. And I'm like, what a stupid decision that was. It's like, we couldn't even see shit. But I will say this. Wolf, as a Predator kind of like cleanup crew, freaking awesome. I love his arsenal. I love his look. He's got recognizable weaponry, of course, the plasma caster, the combi stick, but he's the only Predator that has a bladed whip, and that won me over in the trailers. I was like, that is a badass right there. That, and because he's named Wolf too. But I'll tell you, when they released the teaser, and they showed that intro where that poor kid and his dad are in the woods where the ship crashed and the facehuggers get out, I was like, no way are they gonna show that. No effing way. And then sure enough, we see it in the theaters and we're shocked. Like, damn, you know. But other than that, that was probably only a few of the cool parts we could actually see. There should be another Metroid down here. There he is. Boom. Taking him out. Now, these Metroids are pretty tame compared to what I'll fight later. But I remember first playing this game, trying to figure out, okay, do I take my time with them? Do I just go in full bore and just missile them to death? You know, figuring it all out. And then we get to the mutations, and I'm like, oh shit. They're really upped their game here. And that was another thing that I liked that this game did. Oh, there's the Varia. Go, 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 go! Boom! Now I got the football player look. Oh yeah, now you're delving deep into the mythos there. Hey Skittle, welcome. I didn't catch you there in time. Sorry about that. Doing pretty good. This was a this was suggested on my Twitter, and not too long ago I just finished streaming Metroid 1 and got the special ending with that. So now we're finishing up with part 2 and talking a little bit about the aliens xenomorph mythos. See, now what bugs me, since you mentioned it, Tech, what bugs me is where the story is currently going, with them changing the mythos and everything. That is starting to bug me a little bit. Because originally it was only supposed to be the engineers. Now we're gonna add, you know, who they're adding to it. It's kind of like weak, in my opinion. It's like you gave me an awesome drink and then you ruined it by watering it down. That's how I feel about that. Actually, is it down first? I think it's down first. Yep, that's how we roll. Exactly. Yeah, I agree, Tech. From a fan's point of view, and also because I'm a creative writing major, Hollywood has definitely gotten lazy when it comes to certain things. But to its credit, when they try and pull something off, my hat's off to them for doing it. Like for the whole... Let's look at the first half of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for example. Uh-oh, mutation! This is the Gamma Metroid. The first stage was Alpha, and now we have Gamma. And you gotta love how this little bastard can shoot me with lightning. Anyway, back to the point I was talking about. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, for example. The first stage, unbelievably awesome. The way that it all came together, the Avengers movie, every superhero movie separate, all that stuff, great. Well-written stuff. And then after that, some of the movies are kind of hit and miss. Some of the sequels are... Oops, forgot about you. So, to their credit, they are getting a little lazy because they're more about reboots and sequels rather than trying something new. But that's also part of the problem. A lot of stuff has been done. So how do you top it? Is there a way to do that? I'm kind of a purist in some ways. So, for example, if you're going to remake a movie that I cherish, I hope that you... I hope that you handle it with the same care and respect that the original writers did when they made it, you know? Otherwise, don't touch it. There are properties that shouldn't be messed with. Some movies that get a sequel a year, couple years, maybe almost a decade later or what have you, okay, you know, maybe you might have something new to add to the mythos, but again, it's the same situation. Respect the core material. If you're going to try something new, don't be afraid to kind of push the envelope. but just do it well. There are movies that are just coming out now that could have come out 10, 15, 20 years ago. But either because Hollywood had stricter rules at that time, or for some other reason, they just didn't. And that was a waste of time. Let's see. Yeah, some remakes, when handled properly, can be done well. I'm not against that at all. But you have to have respect for the source material. You just have to. You can put your little touches on things without changing what made the original great, is my opinion. Like, for example, in college, I was actually working on a movie script for a Metroid movie, believe it or not. And it was my 3rd year of college. I hope I'm not backtracking here. It was the 3rd year of college, and there was this big announcement that went out. Uh-oh. There was a big announcement that John Woo was looking to make a Metroid movie. He hadn't read a script that he liked, but he was willing to take submissions. And I was still working on my writing degree, and I told my buddy Demon Hunter, you know, the guy that does my edits and my art, I told him about that, and we actually started writing our own screenplay. And we had ideas that you'd only see in the comics and in some of the Japanese games that we inputted into the script. And this was before games like Metroid Prime had come out, Metroid Other M definitely. So we had this killer idea. And as always, something has to go wrong. So the computer that I was typing all this on fried. The backup discs that I had got corrupted somehow. So I was devastated because we actually pumped out a really, really good screenplay that would have covered Samus's origins right up to the end of the first game. And of course, being the trend that it is about leaving the possibilities of a sequel open, spoiler alert, we had a sequel intended where I believe the ending was going to be Samus receiving a transmission from the Federation saying that they were going to go to the planet I'm on now, SR-388, and check out a disturbance that occurred. So therefore it would have led up to this game/movie. And yeah, we spent like 2-3 nights just cramming this story out. Coffee and Red Bull and all this stuff. It was so sick how we pulled that together. And to this day, I really wish I had it. Because I feel like this is a game that could make an awesome movie, but because it's based off of an awesome movie as it is, I don't know if it really needs one. And that's another thing that Hollywood needs to consider. Some movies don't need to exist. Yeah, Peter Jackson definitely could have made a Legend of Zelda movie. What's up, Stitched? Running zombies. Totally. Yep, Dawn of the Dead. You guys nailed a perfect reboot or re-imaging right there. I actually enjoyed the new Dawn of the Dead. And it added to what Romero created with the running zombies. It didn't change much. The original story was still there. Took some little creative liberties, but it didn't ruin the story. Yes, I have seen The Frighteners. Oh, you're talking to Jay. Wrong Jay. But yes, I have seen The Frighteners, and I actually like that movie. But I'll tell you this, after Other M came out, and I got to play a little bit, and I was reading what fans of the series was saying about it, I was devastated to learn how they ruined Samus. I was really bummed to see how that happened. Because Samus, in many ways, is like Link, the silent protagonist. Doesn't need to talk, doesn't need to say much. They're there to kick ass and fulfill their mission, whatever it is. So when they added a voice to her and they made her all like, you know, oh my god, Ridley, and that kind of stuff, like, nah, she didn't need that. You could have made her have a sort of PTSD kind of moment just through body language alone. She didn't have to talk. That was kind of my gripe with it. But nonetheless, I still like the game. I like what it added, but I kind of felt like it was a cheap cop-out. Ow. Now I will say, since I mentioned Ridley, and Ridley being Samus's kind of longest nemesis ever, I did... Oh wait, I should have gone... Yeah, I need to go up there first. I did like how Ridley is almost as recognizable as Samus herself. Most people forget about Kraid unless you play Smash Brothers. Phantoon made a comeback in Other M, and Dragon is, you know, Super Metroid, probably one of the easiest boss fights if you electrocute him. But I like that Ridley has kind of been a staple in the Metroid series, because he really is. And the way that we had written it in the storyline was that there's this sort of respect, but there's also this disgust that Ridley and Samus have for each other. If you remember Alien 3, and this is a deleted scene unfortunately, there's a part where Ripley is staring at a xenomorph, or what she thinks is a xenomorph, and she says something along the lines of, "You've been in my life for so long, you're all I can remember." We kind of gave that moment to Samus because that is her and Ridley. Ridley has shaped her life, her career as a Federation police member and as a bounty hunter. And we felt like that was crucial to the story. There was hopes that while we were writing this was going to become a game in itself. And had we pitched it the right way, I bet this could have been Other M in some form. But that didn't happen, and we kind of just left it as it was. And then eventually we realized that I guess John Woo lost interest in the project because he hadn't found one that he was looking for. So I don't know if he's even having any interest at this point. It would be awesome to revisit that, but for the time being, it's kind of something we're putting on hold. So, but yeah, her whole relationship with Ridley is very symbiotic. You know, he wouldn't have the kind of life that he does without her, and the same goes for her. There we go. Ah. Come on, jump up there. Do the Mario! Swing your arms from side to side. Gosh, that song. If I remember correctly, Captain Lou actually sang that. And if you watch that ending clip, he almost trips at the end. He like loses his footing. Uh-oh. Yeah, these guys here can do a hell of a lot of damage if they hit you. But I'll admit, every Monday through Friday, I was glued to that carpet watching that show, and I just realized by saying glued to that carpet, it sounds kind of awkward, so I mean the carpet on the floor that you sit on. I don't think I'm helping myself. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, now we got the Spazer Beam. This was optional. I didn't actually have to get this, but since I'm on a one-track mind right now and trying to remember every little thing I do, I'm just gonna grab the gun. Actually, there kinda is an anime series, so to say. It's not fully animated, but there are quite a few mangas based on the Zelda games. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Minish Cap. So there kinda is, but they're not like full-blown animes yet. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they are, though. Yeah, I just realized I didn't have to go down here. I could have ignored the Spazer altogether. Ah, darn it. So I actually just set myself back a little, but that's okay. But there should be a Metroid fight here. Yep, there it is. And it's a Gamma. Ah, the part that I hate. You can fall through the floor. If I had the screw attack, it wouldn't be perfect. Ah! Nuts. Get up there. Come on, Samus. Boom! Right in the Metroid sphincter. Actually, that's the membrane, but I'm just gonna call it its ass. There should be a breakaway block here somewhere. Oh! One of these, there we go. Like, I know my mind's rusty, but I know one of these breaks away. There we go. Another missile battery, or missile stockpile. This game is so fun. If you've never played it at all, do yourselves a favor and definitely try it. It's a lot more forgivable than the original, that's for sure. So if you're worried it's going to be as difficult as that, it really isn't. Is it as expansive? Absolutely. This game might even be bigger than the NES game, but way more forgiving. Like you can end up getting juggled by enemy attacks and whatnot. You can find yourself in pitfalls and everything, but unlike what happened to me during my Metroid run, there's a lot of them that are easily escapable. So, oh, another Gamma fight. Go Fig. I remember these things used to bother me so much as a kid. I hate the Gammas. Nowadays, I'm just like, pff, run and gun, boom, boom, boom. It's the later forms that are just like, oh hell. Plasma. Now this technically is the strongest beam in the game. And again, I don't have to get it, but I'm getting it because I'm here. Eventually I'll have to go back to the ice beam, of course. Cereal pancakes. That sounds awesome, Skittle. I saw the commercial for those at Denny's, and at first I was like, why? But then I'm like, who cares? They look scrumdiddlyumptious. Especially those Captain Crunch ones. Oh, I would totally get down on those. Even if I risk cutting my mouth, I will eat those pancakes. Anybody remember that joke from Family Guy? When, oh, this part stinks. Where, there's a cut to The Godfather, Marlon Brando. And, he's having a conversation with somebody at his desk. And, he's like, I ask you, why should I kill this Count Chocula? And it's Captain Crunch in the chair. And he's like, because that son of a bitch has been spreading lies. My cereal does not cut the roof of your mouth. I was like, yeah, it does. It totally does. Gamma Metroid fight. Oh, Alpha Metroid. That's even better. Boom. Okay, there should be a Gamma fight here. Sweet. I agree, Skittle. You should get your own pancakes. Taste the pancake rainbow. Right there. Totally sells itself. Oh yeah, totally doable, G-Dicky. Totally doable. Like I was saying, it's probably more forgivable than the first one ever was. And even if you get lost, like, the map isn't so overpowering that you can't find your way, you know? You just gotta think twice about some parts. A little missile never hurt anybody. Except the Metroids and Mother Brain. Oh my gosh. Whoa! That's how you navigate. Wait, what am I doing? I already got that. Well, I mean, do the colors really matter at that point, Josh? I mean, they all come out the same color eventually. That's right, I went there. Oh, that's what I needed. Oh, you stupid little robots. There we go. These used to piss me off as a kid because, as you see, if you run across them while they're extended like that, they knock you down. But I need to get over there. There we go. Boom. Now Not too close to the spikes. There you go. Boom. And of course there is a invisible platform. There we go. You probably can see the outlines a lot better on this, but on the spinach green Game Boy, oh man. There's a room that is in a later section that's all pitch black. It used to annoy me trying to figure that puzzle out. Oh, come on. Ugh. There we go. Ask a dog that. The wonderful world of pets. I remember this one time, our dog Hawk. Hawk is a stray that we found outside my old apartment. There should be a gamma fight. Here. There it goes. My then girlfriend had baked a chocolate cake, and he somehow got into it. So of course, dogs not being able to consume chocolate, we had to make them vomit that. So guess whose job that was? And I had to go get peroxide, give him a small amount to make him vomit it all out. I spent the whole freaking night with him making sure that he vomited and that nothing else happened while everybody else got to kick it indoors. A couple other times after that, he still tried to steal chocolate from us, but I used to show him the peroxide bottle and be like, "Do you remember what we did? Remember what we had to do last time?" And he kind of just backs away because he knows. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's right." See, make sure. I could have sworn there was another Metroid up here somewhere. Uh-oh. There we go. Uh-oh. Whoops. Go, go, go. There should be another Metroid area somewhere here. This is the missile stock, remember? Yep. If I got everything, then I have to go downstairs, but these spikes are a good indicator that there's nothing up there, so... Some enemy nests here. You can do some grinding if you need to. See you later, Skittle. Totally do. I totally will. Whether it's the rainbow in Skittle form or M&M's, my favorite of the colored candies. Have a good one. What's up, Captain Algebra? Okay, now we go here. And then we'll have to backtrack. This was one of my least favorite sections of the game, just because there's a lot of backtracking as it is. And there's going to be a lot of fights with gammas. Speaking of which... Ooh, perfect. Oh, I had him... Okay. Let's see. There we go. It's kind of the Gamma Gauntlet because I think everyone we fight here is a Gamma Metroid. What's up, 80s? Those little robots there are called like Tipo or Tipo, something like that. Believe it or not, they do a lot of damage to you. Let's see. Okay. Oops. This is to another Metroid area. I'm trying to remember. This should be another... Oh yeah, the webbing fight. So another nod to Aliens here is Metroids having webs and eggs and cocoons and stuff. Now Metroid here will definitely become a Gamma. This one will. Clear a path a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want the webbing to eat the missiles up, as it did right there. But he's gonna hide up there because he knows. There we go. Now, unlike the NES Metroid, where killing them wasn't exactly a requirement, that's exactly what you have to do in this game. As you can see, my little Metroid counter on the right there. Every time I kill one, it goes down. That is the whole purpose of your mission here, is to discover these new Metroids and take them all out. Because what part of the storyline focused on was not only were their Metroids still alive, they were mutating. So they were going past that larval stage that we all know them to have. And that's what Samus eventually discovered as she was exploring their home world here. You want to be careful because one of those is a weird little loop. You'll see in a moment. This is another Gamma. There it goes. So, Mother Brain, or actually the Space Pirates, led by Ridley, were the ones who got the Metroid in the original game. They stole that from scientists, Federation scientists, and they brought it back. The sample they actually found was in suspended animation according to the storyline, but Ridley and the Space Pirates, who already were doing genetic engineering and stuff like that, learned how to hatch them by using beta rays on them. So it accelerated their growth process, and then with the added radiation, made them bigger. And then what ended up happening was, after being exposed to all the radiation for so long, they were learning that the Metroids were just the larval stage and were actually beginning to mutate the longer they were exposed to everything. So the longer they were exposed to radiation, they were taking different forms. So we have the 4 in this game: the Alpha, the Gamma, the Zeta, and then the Omega. The later two you'll see as I get further in the game. There we go again. Come on. And the reason why I like that element too is it not only added to the story and to the mythos of what the Metroids represent, it's, again, we have tie-ins to the Xenomorphs. Depending on which entity a facehugger attaches itself to, breeds that kind of Xenomorph with those types of traits. So I thought that was an awesome homage to it. Did not go this way, so I'm thinking that's where the final one is before the earthquake. That's another interesting element to this game too, is you can only progress when a certain number of Metroids are killed, and that causes the planet's atmosphere to change. And at first I didn't get that, but it took Metroid Fusion to kind of explain why that might be happening. So again, I thought that was a cool little tie-in that they gave it. Here's where I'm going to have a one-way exit out. There's the earthquake. So yeah, the more that you take out the... I was going to say Xenomorphs. The more that you take out the Metroids, the more you'll cause that to happen. And as you'll see, certain areas of the planet are only accessible after you do that. Learning which places you have to visit first is part of the trick. Hey, Linda. Welcome. Yo, that's awesome, Captain. You should play this with me and then we'll speedrun it together. We'll race. I really wish I had the Game Boy Advance player for GameCube because I would love to stream the other games. I could, you know, get an emulator if I wanted to, but I love original hardware. Ow. I apologize, guys, if I'm not catching you as soon as you enter here. I really wish I could direct one eyeball to look at one thing and another to look at my game, but I haven't trained my muscles that well yet. Zombie conquers Metroid. Appreciate that hashtag. My favorite Metroid. That is a tough call. I have to say, overall, Super Metroid. And that's a really hard decision to make, and I'll tell you why. I've been a fan since the first NES game. That's what caused my fandom in the first place. So I love the original Metroid game for what it is and how it started the franchise. Metroid 2 is a heavy fan favorite because it's so similar to my favorite Xenomorph movie, Aliens. And it too added to the mythos and the power-ups, so there's a lot here that's a really good selling point for it. Super Metroid is my absolute favorite because it took everything that had been done, minus a few items that weren't brought back, and just perfected it, in my opinion. Awesome graphics for the system. Awesome colors, details. The music score is unbelievable. Controllability. the whole world itself was expanded upon, and deep down, Super Metroid is not only my favorite Metroid game, it's one of my top Super Nintendo games, and this might be unpopular opinion, but I think it's the best Super Nintendo game overall. Just because of what the game did as far as pushing limitations. That game really, really immersed me in the world and in the mythos. From the moment that awesome intro kicks in, I was hooked. And I got my copy at a Toys R Us back when we still had those little tickets where you had to take them to the security counter and they had the games locked up. I got mine for cheap because it was a very pricey title and it was staying there for a very long time. But when I got that game and started playing it, I cried as a kid. I just thought it was probably one of the most beautiful looking games ever. And again, might be unpopular opinion, but I stand by it. I felt like there was going to be no way they could top that game at all. And in some ways they kind of did with Metroid Fusion. But Metroid Fusion has a bit more problems with it than Super Metroid does, in my opinion. But that does not mean the game is terrible by any means. So, very close race. I would have to say Super Metroid is my absolute favorite one. If I have to choose one. If. I love the series as a whole, so, whoops, fell in the acid. So I will stand by this series for as long as they keep making them, and even if they don't make another one. I will say this, though. I was a bit standoffish when Prime was announced. Because after experiencing FPS gaming on 64, I was really hopeful that taking Metroid to the FPS setting wasn't going to ruin it. And it didn't. It actually did a good job. So, I apologized for being a little too harsh about Prime. And then, just, yeah, I was blown away by that movement. Yeah, agree. I like playing games with the Super Nintendo controller because it's just really responsive. Catch up here a little bit. Speedrun is complicated. Game Boy Color player is pretty great, but controller's not as... Yeah. Game Boy players, GBA, yep. But let's hear what you guys have to say on this subject. What are your guys' favorite Metroid games, if you have any? Let's hear them. I'm always fascinated to learn this stuff about other fans. And even if you're not a fan of Metroid, if there's one you enjoyed, let's hear it. I'd like to hear your guys' takes on these. Because I could go on and on about this. Any franchise I'm a fan of, I could pour my heart and soul into. And this is no exception. Now this is going to be a weird loop because I'm going to have to cause an earthquake to happen once, and then I'm going to have to cause it again so that I can backtrack. And I'm being super impatient right now, so... There should be a Metroid fight coming up here. They were kind enough to restock that for me. There he is. Perfect loop right there. Boom. Now there's going to be another point where the same route is going to is gonna occur, only it's gonna be a Gamma Metroid, and I'm gonna have to fight him on the other side. I'm using the space jump here, another item they added to the game in this version. Now the space jump became a staple, so they did use this in Super Metroid. And then what they also did that was cool was they added the screw attack to it, so now you can multiple jump and then screw attack enemies at the same time. Really, really cool. These guys will disappear. Metroid Fusion, awesome. Yeah, that... Oh man, that storyline was really, really good too. The fact that the very thing you were hunting is the thing that was keeping you alive. That was really, really cool. And then we get the introduction of SAX, Samus X. That sequence where she comes out and blows up the doorway. Tell me that imaging does not send shivers down your spine. The way she comes out, the fact that you just escaped that section and she's got this kind of like undead appearance with the soulless eyes and everything. Oh man, that was so cool to see. And I'm sitting here playing it for the first time and I'm going, oh yeah, she ain't gonna be somebody to mess with. I got my hands full now. Zero Mission, yeah. Zero Mission's great. Such a good remake. Okay, Metroid Prime. You got Metroid at launch. That's awesome, 80s. I wish I could say the same. But I got Metroid a little bit later. But still a fan. I did get... I guess I could say I kind of got this one around launch, only because it was a Christmas present. But apparently my stepdad had gotten it a while ago, and my mom had told him, no, just give that to him for Christmas. So, yep, that's how I got that in my good old newbie light. Boom. Okay, I think now I have to backtrack the other way and I have to go back to the very area I just came from. See, this is where all that backtracking comes in. Yeah, totally. Metroid is a classic for sure. I know it's tough, and I know that I complained a bit about it when I was streaming it, but I still love that game to death. Okay, perfect. See, now the lava's gone. Make up for a little bit of lost time here. If I really, really wanted to focus on speedrunning this just a little bit more, there are some subtle changes you can make to what I'm doing to get a better time. And a lot of that involves being in the morph ball form. Oh, went the wrong way. There we go, this is what I wanted. I just remembered being a kid anticipating where the next area was gonna be and what I had to fight. I was the kid that would spend hours reading a game manual, so I knew what to expect, but I didn't know when. And that's where the anticipation built. Like, when am I going to see these things, you know? I was the same way with the original Metroid, and the fact that it took the very near end of the game to see them, I was kind of let down. I was like, where are the Metroids at? But then when you're really fighting them for the first time, you're like, I'm kind of glad this is the only area they're in. Because I don't need that noise. Unlike here, where you... Ow! You could run into a Metroid at any room, any turn. So I'm gonna have to come back to that pit. Some Street Fighter, huh? Oh, hey Megan, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Outlaw Bits Gaming, what's up, bro? Sorry I didn't catch you. Oh, here we go, Metroid fight. Boom. Just keep forcing them back. Fall through here. Should be a reserve somewhere. Oh, there we go. Yep, backtracking. Telling you. I don't think there's a single real Metroid game that doesn't have one. No element of backtracking whatsoever. Ugh. Have to squeeze out of there. Now this is going to be one big loop, so I'm going to have to work my way all the way back around, but that's okay, because I have to go back anyway to let the lava flow out. Oh. What was I looking for? What did I do? And guys, please be sure to show everyone's channel here some love if you're not familiar with a name at all. Do yourselves a favor and enrich your YouTube-ness with people you don't know. Because trust me, everyone that's in here, very awesome, nice people. Most of which are YouTube creators who I support 100%. I'm sure they'd appreciate the same support too. So let's keep building our community, guys. Let's be the better half of what YouTube is right now and what it used to be. Can't stress that enough. Oh, the spiked room. We have to fight a Gamma. Where is he? Oh! Alright, you see what we got going on right there? Aside from that seizure show, the Gamma here is going to molt. So, we're going to get our first Zeta Metroid. There he is. And what sucks about these, they take a lot of hits. They do a lot of damage, obviously. Boom. But they do have a vulnerability. As you saw there, when you nail them in the right spot, they freeze. So you can use that to your advantage. Along with the damage hopping that I was using, the damage boost, you can continue to use their hits to catapult you upward and then hit them. The alphas take 5, the gammas take 10, zetas take 15, and omegas take 20. Ugh. Lousy freaking little creature. the lima bean shield. I think I get the screw attack somewhere here. Let's see. There. Actually, that's one way. Maybe that's the only way. Go. I think this is another fight up here. This might be the screw attack. Nope. Ice beam again. Which I don't mind because then that saves me a backtracking step. Oh, that's awesome, G Dicky. Congratulations, bro. That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Let's help each other out. Build each other's confidence. Build each other's channels. You know? Oh, this is the weapons room. So, as you can see, I have access to every gun that I've had up until this point. So, I'm going to go back to the plasma weapon, and then I'll just get the ice beam later, because there'll be a point where I have to get it again anyway, and they'll make it easy for me. There we go. I'm just gonna take that. That way all the enemies here are easier to kill as a result of that. Okay, that does that. Smarties. I wish I could say I like Smarties, but I'm not a fan of them. Now, Shock Tarts, totally get behind those. The giant Sweet Tarts, I can get behind those too. My mom used to get so mad at me because I used to call those the candies that look like those things at church. I think you molt them. Yep. And I know there are a few of us in this stream that eat fruit snacks. In fact, Kurt, if you're still in here, I meant to tweet a picture of a bag of Gushers I bought just before I went to the movies the other day. I was going to tag you in that. Like, I can't eat these without thinking of my good buddy. We had this conversation about fruit Gushers in one of his streams because both of us eat those, and I lament these sour ones because they are not the same as they used to be. Oh no! This will be so much easier once I get the screw attack. Ow! This is, I think, the dark room. Yep. There's a gap somewhere here. Oops. Because there should be... Yep, that's what I want right there. And you can't fall in through the Metroid shell. You have to bomb your way up there. And at some point, there is a breakaway ledge here. Just gotta find it. There it is. Will you reach it? Yes, she did. I'm wondering if I can jump through there. Oops. Let's see. Yep. Ugh. This is another boss fight. Get the missiles ready just in case. See, this is why I wanted to keep the plasma beam for as long as I could, because there's a Metroid in here that's gonna molt, and you're not gonna have room to maneuver. There he is. He's all nice and cozy, ready for me to... Come on. Ow. Spiked. Right? Snacks, games, TV shows, that was all part of the awesome mixture right there. Had to go put away dinner. Oh, thanks, Linda. Okay. I do wish they would bring back some of those good ones too. There's a lot of good... Ow. Fruit snacks and the like that were just amazing. This is gonna be a huge letdown because I hope I got everything here, but I'm not too sure. So this is where knowing where you've been is handy. Okay, this might be the Zeta room. Okay. So that's one. That's where I came from there. Is this the weapons room? Nope. I think this was the Gamma room. If an earthquake doesn't trigger, that's usually a sign that you haven't gotten everything out of here. And I think there is one more lurking, because I think by the time I move to the next area, I should be down to 8. Ow. 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 I want to say it's one that is near the entrance. That, I believe, is where I go for the weapons, which I'll probably change back to the ice beam just because. But I definitely wanted the plasma beam for those areas there. Yep. Okay. So it's got to be one near the beginning. Definitely want to kill those machines. If I remember right, this was the ice beam. Take that. If I remember correctly, there is a Metroid in the corner, but I'm gonna do this instead. Not that. Here we go. Okay, save there. I think there's a Metroid in the corner of this area because there is a Metroid I'm supposed to fight above ground. And I remember that fight as a kid always annoying me because he would knock me off the platform. Let's see, what room is this? Just in case. If it's not this, it's another one. Oh, great. A Zeta. But if I can get him in a good loop here. Like that. Boom. There we go. See, that I should have thought twice about getting rid of the sand in that area because that would have been to my advantage. But that's okay. Come on. Yo, I want some pizza rolls. That was like the freaking snack right there. When I was a kid and we finally got a microwave, and I was allowed to have friends over after a while, if we couldn't get pizza, I usually got a big bag of those and just nuked them. And we just munched on those and played games all night. Unless it was something really cool like a WWF pay-per-view. Oh, and I'm gonna fall. Then I would usually get pizza. Use my allowance, or my mom would be cool enough to buy us pizza. Then we watch the big wrestling pay-per-view. with our little shirts and our little prop items. Oops. There should be a missile thing somewhere here. Oh, there we go. Ow. Got one somewhere. There should be an Omega or Zeta. Come on. Actually, I think he's the one guarding the screw attack. Boom. Looped him. That was a good one. Yep, and there goes the earthquake. So now we're getting deeper. Actually, now I remember this. Yeah, the counter is right. There we go. Boom. Made even more lethal when you combine that with the space jump. So we're gonna do some more backtracking, and I've got 2 regular Metroid fights, which brings my counter down to 4, and I think that is when I fight the Omegas at the 4 counter, because there were only 4 if I remember correctly. I'm gonna go stock up my energy too. If I can hit something and get the boost I need. There we go. See? Now I don't have to worry so much because I can just hack and slash all over the place. I remember when Nintendo Power finally did a cover of this game. By the time that issue came out, I didn't even need it. And I was like, you're a little late. But I still loved the spread because it gave a really good detailed map. And you know, because Nintendo Power uses original artwork, it had all these really cool, grotesque looking Metroids in there. So you got to see the Metroids with like their veins and everything and all their like mouth membranes and stuff. Oops. Getting deeper into the core here. And another tribute or another nod to the continuity of the game itself. When you actually came back here for what happens in Metroid Fusion, I thought that was cool too because it would make sense. It's not like they nuked SR388, unlike what happens in the first game where the central base blew up, and then you learned, oh, that was just one of them. sanatorium was just one of many. This should be, I believe, an Omega fight. Maybe not. But there's... Oh, it's a regular one. Oh, this is that loop I mentioned. Can you hear that noise? I can't cut through the Metroids, but I can deflect them. Which is going to be really helpful in the last couple fights. So there's going to be an earthquake here. It's gonna loop me. And then I gotta go around. So now I gotta go other way. Yo, what's up, Lit? Appreciate it, bro. Uh-oh. So here we are back to that room. I can't go anywhere without activating a earthquake. So now, we're back at that junction here. So we go this way. And I just looped myself. Yep, I should have... Uh-oh. Holy cow. There is the first Omega, who, for us Metroid Fusion fans, remember, this is that giant one we see in the game. Only... this is obviously a much smaller version. Oh my gosh. There we go. See, I was supposed to loop the other way, and I altered it. I altered that route by going one direction first as opposed to what I was supposed to do. Hopeful they would give me more energy than that. Okay. So now I can go down here. These guys usually give me either life or missiles. Okay. Either one is fine. Now there should be acid pool I can finally bypass. Unless I just did all that work for nothing. Which I might have done. Yep. Okay. So now we gotta make that part back. Backtracking, folks. Yeah, love it. Okay, there should be a room that has a pool. Maybe it's, I think it's this one. There we go. Yeah, before I couldn't come here. Hope work is treating you well, Lit. I know my day was kind of slow, and I'm kind of glad to be out of there. Those little guys there with the glowing butts, they will dash side to side, so definitely want to avoid that if you can. But otherwise, I just hack through them with the screw attack, and hopefully they drop energy refills. We're gonna have 4 Omega boss fights, and there is a save point. I don't recall if there's missile and energy stations, so I definitely want to go into these fights with as much as possible. I mean, they work pretty much the same way as the Zetas do, but they are stronger. And while I can defend with the screw attack, I would prefer to go into these fights with a lot more than what I've got right now. Missiles won't be too much of a problem, but the energy will. Oh, this kind of pitfall looks familiar. But look how much easier it was for me to get out of there. This is a Zeta or Omega fight. There we go. I wish Samus could shoot missiles faster. One thing they definitely improved upon with later games. Boom. Okay, that took down my life a bit. That's one down. Alright. Okay, there's that pit right there. Once I'm done with this area, I gotta make my way there. That'll lead me to the core of the planet. Just to be safe. Trying to remember, are there spikes down here? Yep. It's funny how I always remember things. That is a boss fight, or a Metroid fight. This one is 2. See, these guys give the best energy because they fill at 20, whereas the little ones most of the time we've seen have only been 5. So great place to farm. And you definitely want to going into these fights because there isn't much until after you get to the central area. And whatever your stock is at that point, you'll definitely need filled up by the time you get to the final section. And unfortunately, you can only hit those guys. Let's see, they give me missiles. There's definitely no shame in farming in this area because of that. So. Especially if your screw attacks don't land and you just end up jumping into them, you'll definitely want a way to have a backup with energy in case you take the hit. So. And since every Metroid you fight here is an Omega, you'll definitely want all the help you can get. If I can get him to freeze right there on that ledge, all I have to do is pump missiles. A little bit harder to manipulate than the Zetas. See, that was good. It could be better, but I'll take it because he actually was pretty still for a while. Pellegrino is in the bottled water? Ow! We're down to 2 more. I'm definitely going to need a fill up on missiles if possible. Because otherwise, every missile I shoot is going to have to land a hit. Yeah, it totally is epic, and the way that they set that up too, like, you're sitting here going, okay, I just fought clones of all these things, plus, not to mention the battle with, Samus X is tough, and then you come out and there's just this gigantic Metroid shell, and you're like, you've got to be kidding me. Where the hell has this thing been this entire time? And then you're like, oh, great. Alright. Alright. Jeez. Look how many missiles that took. Wait, the earthquake triggered now? I've already... Oh yeah, that's right, because I did fight 4 originally. That's weird. I could have sworn there were 4 in this area. This, I think, is a save. Here, anyway. Yep, save. So now we gotta go back to the area we were just at with the little structure up above. And we're just gonna do a free fall. And we're just gonna get to the central part of SR-388. Here we go. This area is pretty much empty, if I recall. Like, there's nothing really to fight. And this sort of reminds me of Aliens when Ripley has to go get Newt, and she has to go to the core of the planet. Or not the core of the planet, but... Uh-oh. I hope there isn't a fight here. I don't have Jack. Uh-oh. Okay, good. I was like, wait a minute. This is setting up to be some kind of fight I'm not prepared for. But as I was saying, yeah, when she has to go to where the heart of the facility is, there should be a safe spot right here. And, you know, she tells Bishop, you know, she's alive, I'm gonna find her. Oh, darn it. Pitfall, that's right. And she has him take her to the reactor, and she goes looking for her. Definitely the later part too, once we get near the end of this section, because the whole battle at the end of the movie, they definitely replicate here. Stupid pitfalls. Gotta love these hot pink surfaces. Like, this is all designed to slow you down. Like, this is all just filler. There's my save spot. Okay, so we have zilch for energy. Well, not so much energy, but definitely missiles. So we're gonna go and work our way up here. There's gonna be 3 segments. One is a dead end. Another is a refill room. This one here. Go. And then 1 is the main area that we need to get to, which I don't think is this one. I think it's the one on the far left. We'll know. Yep. There's the music change. just like the original Metroid, the creepy music kicks in when you're in the Metroid room. Now check that out. That is the first time we've seen a Metroid egg right there. So we learn that they come from eggs. And now look at my counter. What's up, Darkside Gamer? R. Fisher, what's up? See, now the music cue is different, and this is why we need the ice beam, because look who's back. And as you can see, these things are freaking huge. But methodology for killing them is still the same. Freeze them, missile them. Unfortunately, they don't drop power-ups like they did in the first game. But as all part of the process, we have to take them out, unlike the first game where it was more of just like an obstacle. And then, of course, the ultimate question. The same thing, the same questions that aliens asked with the xenomorphs. So if these things come from an egg, who's laying these eggs? I just was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna explore that. Because as you saw, my counter went up for no reason. Okay, now I'm gonna listen to this music for a little bit. When I heard this badass music, I knew something epic was gonna go down. And this totally reminded me of when Ripley runs into the next room with Newt in her arms and she sees the eggs everywhere and the queen xenomorph, the queen alien, is right there just laying them. Oh man. So this moment totally sold me. Yup, Big Mama Metroid. Now check this out. There are actually 2 ways you can kill the queen. This was the first method I learned. Missiles. Missiles to the mouth. And then that's all you do, right? Here's another one. Oh, screwed that one up. Shoot a missile into her mouth so that she pauses like she normally does. And then what you're gonna do, let her swallow you, make your way inside her, and just blow her up from the inside. Isn't that freaking cool? Now you can only lay 3 bombs at a time, but the bombs do just as much damage as a missile does. And then of course you can screw attack her fireballs. Jump right in there, make your way down her trachea, into her gut. Boom! Blow her up. Go. There you go. Now, let's say hypothetically you're getting work during this boss fight. If you go down this path before it seals off, it'll lead you to a tunnel that will reroute you to the energy and missile stores that we saw earlier. Now here's the Metroid hatchling. And as you can see, following me around because it imprinted on me. And it's helping me escape. I'm not too sure. I think the bomb trick is actually faster for speedrunning purposes. I don't really remember. But I do know that at least once you get the hang of jumping in her mouth and letting her swallow you, it actually becomes easier to do than just waiting around, screw attacking the fireballs and then shooting missiles at her. But like I said, the American commercial of this game kind of gave away the final boss fight because they showed a clip of her, of whoever's playing. They showed Samus fighting her, but we didn't really know that was the queen. We just thought, oh, this big, you know, freaking creature. That's what she said. Oh, now check this out. The planet has changed so much that the original entrance is now sealed up. And usually I could land in the ship when I free fall. There you have it, folks. Complete playthrough of one of my favorite Metroid games. Now, I always let her swallow me. That's what he said. What's up, Guts? Hey Ryan, put that on a shirt for me, or a bumper sticker. Zombie for press. There you go. Now, if you're concerned about whether or not the game has the same, faster you play through, the better the ending, totally does. If you play through this and Samus isn't running, that's an indication that you probably have the longer ending, where it's just her. If she starts running, you have one of two chances of whether or not you got the good ending or the special ending, which we all know what the special ending is. So, oh, thanks, Tech. The new Bill Clinton. Thanks, Zeno. Jump in her mouth and let her swallow you. That way, you did not have sexual relations. Zombie just needs an intern. No, I don't. I have a girlfriend. I don't need an intern. Okay, so there you go. Special ending. 213. I did lose some time backtracking, that's for sure, but I've gotten it as good as 145, 140 mark, somewhere around there. So for not having played through this in a while, I'm happy with that. Yup, playing it by the lamp. Exactly. That's exactly what I used to do until I got the little Gameboy light. Captain, I will tip my hat to you, sir. I will agree with that one. Provided she does not set a bomb near me and blow me up. See? I did not have sexual relations with that Metroid. Boom! Like that. Thanks, Guts. Yeah, and here we actually get to see more of her pixelated form, unlike the original Metroid where she had the whole jumpsuit. Here she actually has the bikini. Oh, thanks, Wrestling with Games. There we go. Ow, a little stiff there. Another victory for the Zombie Tigre. That's right. I can finally put that one in the list of completed games there. I do plan on going back to the original Metroid and doing a no-death run of that. This is actually a no-death run with the special ending, so that's pretty cool. I thought I was in my own stream. Nice work, man. You beat that Metroid like an OG man. Thanks, G. I love all the innuendos that are coming out during this stream. And I just gave you guys another one right there. Thanks, Stitched. The completionist. Yeah. In many ways. In many ways. Unlike the original Metroid run where I didn't get everything, maybe I'll attempt that, or maybe I'll just go through again with the no death run, because there are some items you don't even need to get. I've played through both games without getting everything as well, and one of the more difficult runs is trying to do the where you have to run through the segments where the acid hasn't dropped all the way and hope that you make it to the next area in time. Now do Double Dragon 2. Good run. Just watch out for that Metroid support now. Oh, no problem, Darkside. Thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it. Playing Sekiro, so I'm missing chat. No worries. That game requires a lot of attention, so no problem. Appreciate it, Tech. You have a good one. I'm 35 years into my no death run. I like that. Ugh. All right. What time is it? How long have we been streaming for? According to this, almost 2.5 hours. Alrighty. I definitely want to pick that game up too and give it a try. I've seen a few streamers of it, or streams of it already, and it definitely caught my attention. So, let's see here. Let me double check something real quick, because maybe I will give the no death run of Double Dragon 2 a try. Oh, thanks, Alpha Nerd. Yeah, this actually turned into a no death run. On the next Dark Side of the Moon. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that just in case, because I do have a prior engagement in place about this time. Possibly streaming tonight since I couldn't last night. Oh, cool. Do you know when you're going to do that, Captain? Because if you're about ready to jump on now, I'll go ahead and cut mine, and then we'll just meet you at your stream. I want to see some Budokan finally. Is that what you're working on, Josh, or you want me to attempt that? Oh, man. Dude can get really parched. Okay. So let me... Oh, Crash Bandicoot. Okay. Well, then I'll tell you what. If it's going to be soon, I'll go ahead and cut my stream, and then we'll just wait for you to start yours. How's that sound? Totally. Cash is a great choice. Oh, the original Crash Bandicoot. We got that at launch. I had a feeling he was going to be one of Sony's mascots for sure. And I also knew Crash was going to be big when he came out, because if The Simpsons parodied him, then you knew he was going to be something. A spring water. No, I want spritzer. With exactly 4 ice cubes and a wedge of lemon. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, but don't feel like you have to cut your stream short. Not a problem, Cap, because y'all know how I feel about streaming when you guys are streaming too. Especially since I enjoy watching you guys play stuff just as much. So if you're good to go, just say the word. It's no, I'm not going to break down and cry over it. And the camera pans and I'm on my floor like, he made me quit my stream. See you later, Linda. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Yo, what's up, big boss? Just did a complete playthrough / no death run of Metroid 2. And okay, cool. Yep, that's exactly what I was waiting for. We're waiting for Captain Algebra to set up his stream, and he's going to be streaming some Crash Bandicoot. So, I'm just killing some time here. If you guys haven't seen this on The Simpsons, this is one of their best parodies ever. So, long story short, Lisa gets sick, has to stay home. And Marge, being the awesome mom that she is, says instead of trying to study and trying to improve your knowledge, why not relax and play one of Bart's video games? She pulls out a PlayStation, and of course is a game Crash Bandicoot based, but it's called Dash Dingo. Which is just amazing. It's such a good parody. Oops. I'm hoping that did not kill the stream right now. But there you have it. If you want to check that out, if you've never seen the clip I'm talking about, go right ahead. And let me get... I think so. It could be the original Crash Bandicoot. But I guess we'll see once Cap starts streaming. Oh. That'll be fun. Hey, let's go raid Chris Levi. Let me get his link real quick. Apologize if that's loud. Here. This is Chris Levi's stream. Let's go raid him. Hashtag zombie horde. Chris won't mind. Of course, if my computer is going to do stupid stuff on my behalf. This will give us something to do here.
Hope you're enjoying your Saturday night. And I usually do a 10 like height for a dance, which I will do a dance at 10 like
Brains. There's guts.
I'm just wondering on a whim, could we get 15 likes tonight in the stream? Can we get 15 likes?
Yeah. Help them get those likes, guys.
And also, anybody that wants to know, I can't confirm like 100% that I'm going, but I can kind of 75% for sure saying that I will be going to.
Looks like he's playing Jack and Daxter. That's cool. So we got Crash, Jack and Daxter. All we need is for somebody to play Sly Cooper.
The other day, me and Logan of Big Evil Gaming booked our room
For the zombie horde. Love that. Be sure to drop those likes for him, guys. He wants 15. We're at 13.
to adjust anything, let me know. And let me see this all here. We got we got a good group of people up in here, so let me pause the game for a second so I can talk to you all. We got Stitch in the building, Date Meme Center in the house. We got Zombie J in the house. Retro Ryan in the house. Big Boss 100. Seen you around all the time. Pop Agron to T-Bay to this. Big Boss 100 in the house. We got Josh.
There we go.
I hope I didn't botch that name. If I don't know, I know. In the house.
Smash that like button. Alright, here's...
And we got Tone.
I dropped one more in my stream. This is for
My favorite game of all time
the
is
brothers at Rage Quits with Friends. So I'm going to go
Borderlands.
raid them too. If you guys care to join me, by all means.
Jack and Dexter, Crash Bandicoot, Sly Cooper, playing stuff like that. But also, I love a lot of modern stuff as well.
Alright. I'm going to make my way to the Rage Brothers. If y'all want to meet me there, I dropped a link into their stream. They are playing Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's give them some likes as well.
Hey, zombie! Yeah. How are you doing, zombie? Yeah, you were playing Metroid too.
And I kind of want to play that one.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, thanks, Big Boss. Josh, awesome.
Yeah, it does. Hey, Big Boss 100, what's up? Hello, zombie horde. Josh.
There we go.
How you doing? Yeah, I never really got a chance to playing Metroid 2, even though that one looks really good.
That's the only Metroid yet that looks appealing to me because you fight the actual Metroids in it.
Yeah. 6% Charbino. The old Game Boy one.
Yeah, it was released on Game Boy.
There we go. Good job, guys. I appreciate that. And I'm sure they do too.
Oh, wow, you know Jasper ran it? Wow. Yeah, I wish I could have stayed for the whole thing. I was watching.
And we got the little special dance from Chris in his stream.
I hope y'all are doing well, though.
Sweet.
Everybody from Zombie stream.
Have they mentioned anything about Metroid Prime 3?
No, not really, no.
That's what they said they were gonna like. We were kept from the ground up.
Don't break your phone.
There we go. Go
You
ahead
got
and...
the bikini ending? Oh, nice.
I think that was the thing.
Yeah, that's usually always a thing, where she's like in a little... I mean, in those graphics, it's kind of hard to tell that she was a girl, because like, it still could have just been a guy with like 80s rocker hair. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, I know what's going
You never
on.
know. I mean, like, it was
Sorry
the
about that.
80s, you see.
I was actually watching The Last Man on Earth.
Prime?
Alright, there we go, guys. Now let me just see if Captain has gotten his stream up. If he hasn't, then no biggie. We'll just, if he does, he does. If he doesn't, then either way, I'll just cut the stream and then I'll just see y'all over there. But I do want to raid his stream too. Okay. So far. Alright, no problem, Josh. You have a good time. I'll catch you later, bro. Okay, doesn't look like he's ready just yet, but that's alright. Alright, everybody, I do want to thank you for being here for the Metroid 2 No Death Run. If you're watching this in replay, just want to say thank you for doing that. Even if you couldn't watch the whole video or the whole playthrough, I appreciate a like, I appreciate comments. Y'all know that I just love any bit of support because I give it back to you guys just the same. So, until next stream, Zombie JLT1, your supernatural gamer and gaming beautician, signing off for now. I will catch you all later. Whoa! Now that is how you end a stream, folks. Just got a subscriber. Thank you, I'm Edwin. Appreciate that with the last minute subscription. Very, very awesome. And for those of you who don't know what that sound is, that is my boy Nemesis yelling just as he's about to attack you in Resident Evil 3. Why? Because he is my favorite zombie, favorite Resident Evil creature. And of course, we're getting that awesome remake for PlayStation 4. So, can't be too hyped up for that. Anyway, again, Zombie JLT1, your supernatural gamer and gaming beautician. Want to thank all you guys for being here. I will see you next game. Possibly Jet Grind Radio on Dreamcast, unless I get another suggestion or I make a poll. So, I will catch you all later. Have a good night and see you in Captain's stream.